Don't mind my background right now. I'm actually in Bourne. We had booked a family Cape weekend this week. So it's very peaceful out here. I have the harbor next
Excellent.
to me, which is wonderful.
Good for you.
So I'm assuming you're sitting at a table that is transparent.
Yes.
Looks
This
like
is
you're
this is
sitting in
a
an ice cube.
That's funny. Yes, yeah. I'll try to see if I can give you guys the view if you can see the water.
Oh, jealous.
With these rentals, it's really hit or miss, but we're very happy with this one.
Yeah, good.
Excellent. Good for you.
Hi,
Morning,
Bruce.
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 Good morning. How are you?
Pretty
Well,
well.
thank you.
It's
Yourself?
been a while.
Hello.
Hi, Chris. I think
How
we
are
can.
you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, not very well. You're not very loud.
Okay, let me see if I can fix that.
Hello, Dan.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Daniel.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Nice.
How's the family? Good?
Everybody's good.
Excellent. Excellent.
See, it looks like we're just waiting for Mark and John. Is that right? It doesn't.
Stephanie, is it better?
I have actually in a meeting, but no, I've been home since Saturday.
I'm going to send Mark a text just to make sure he's
She's a monster.
on his way.
She's a monster.
There's John. And everyone responded affirmatively.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning, John. How are you?
Doing well, thanks.
Morning, John.
Morning.
Morning, John.
Good morning.
Morning. Hopefully this sounds better. Maybe I should turn on my camera too. Let me see.
Amy Manson is another new member. So Dan, it's 9:04. Maybe we give Mark another minute. And if he doesn't join us as vice chair, you could start the meeting.
Sure. Yeah, so let's just get started. Have we started recording yet or?
Yes, yep.
Okay. All right, so welcome everyone. Good morning welcome to the July 20th meeting of the Economic Development Council. This meeting's taking place in accordance with the governor's regulations and the meeting's being recorded. Is there any other housekeeping, Stephanie? Do we have to take a roll call to start the meeting?
Yes, you should.
All right, so I'll start with Craig.
Craig Barger,
Julie,
Julie Berninger.
Bruce,
Here.
John
Here.
Holbrook, Chris,
Here.
Stephanie.
Here?
Is there anyone that I missed?
Nope.
All right. So Stephanie, do you want to kind of kick things off with a general update? I don't have the agenda. I'm actually traveling for work right now, so I don't have
Okay.
all of this in front of me.
That's okay. The first item was the minutes. Did everyone get a chance to review those?
Did.
Okay, so could we have a motion to approve the minutes?
so moved, Barger.
Second,
Aye.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
All right. So at the last meeting in January, and I apologize, it's been very busy here. I know Mark has been pretty busy over the last several months. So it's been a while since we've had our meeting, but I did meet with Lisa DeVos from the Chamber of Commerce, and also with Amy Rodriguez, who is the Shoveltown Cultural District liaison, back at the beginning of July, about scheduling the business forum. We talked about having a business forum that focused on the cultural district and tourism as an economic driver. So they're very excited about this. The date that we've chosen is either September 21st or 22nd at 7:30. We're planning on booking the Queesit room one of those days. Once we finalize that, I'll let everybody know. Amy will be the guest speaker, and she is very good at talking about this. They actually had a stakeholder meeting. The cultural district hosted a stakeholder meeting back in January at Oaks Ames Memorial Hall, where Amy was the key speaker at that meeting. And then when we were talking with Lisa, she just talks about all the benefits of having a cultural district or attractions that are interesting to people who are looking for places to go and spend their vacation time, and how tourism really can help drive your economy, because people don't just come when they come to an area like Easton. If they're coming to observe the unique architecture that we have here, with the largest collection of H.H. Richardson designed buildings, and just generally that the town, with the amount of open space that the town has, people will spend time, they will shop, they will eat, they'll go to the restaurants, and everything. So she does a really good job of talking about that and talking about examples. And then we will also have a state of the town panel, as we did at the last meeting, with probably the town administrator, the chair of the select board, and myself. And as everyone knows from last August, sometimes that sounds like it's not a full hour, but that time fills up pretty quickly.
So it's my first day here. Hi, everyone. I'm Julie. My background is in digital marketing and internet. I worked at Apple and Amazon prior, so there'll be a lot that I'll be learning from you that I don't know. but my specialty is producing live events via live stream, also email subscribers, lead generation, anything e-commerce, Etsy. I've helped over 10,000 people start Etsy businesses. So I'm super interested in small business and online business owners. So I'm going to ask some questions. They might be dumb questions today, but this is my first time hearing of an event like this. So I'm just curious, what are the goals of the event? What do you hope the outcome is? Do we have attendance goals? Just kind of curious about the background.
So I'll start and then let the members of the board, the council talk. I mean, one of the goals is really to engage the business owners in the community. Let them know what's going on, what investments that the town is making in economic development and helping support businesses, which isn't always a direct hard line to see that. So for example, and maybe I'll better introduce myself. I'm the Director of Planning and Economic Development for the town. So one of the boards I provide support for is the Planning and Zoning Board. And frequently that board is looking at how the zoning is working to attract the type of development the town's looking for. A lot of that might be housing, single family homes, some affordable housing, but it's also how do we support businesses and attract private investment in commercial activities. So we like to give updates on those type of investments. Infrastructure improvements. We've sewered three commercial districts. The district that we refer to as the Queeset Commercial District, which extends from Depot Street up to the intersection of Belmont Street in Easton, Boundary Street between Depot Street, the other end of Depot Street, and Eastman Street heading towards Mansfield, and the downtown area. And that's really sparked a lot of development in the downtown area and redevelopment and reuse of some of the properties there. And we're receiving a lot of interest and have started permitting several new commercial projects and mixed use projects in the Foundry Street area, which we refer to as the Furnace Village District. So the goals of the town and the goals of this meeting is to share that information, share what the town is doing, and then also hear back from the business owners. What's working for them, what some of the challenges that the town can help with might be.
Okay, thank you for that background. And then, so there'll be programming at the event, and then is there a space at the end for discussion, or how we receive the feedback from the business owners?
So we'll have Amy will get up and speak. As I said, she'll talk about tourism as an economic driver. She'll talk about what the Shoveltown Cultural District has planned for programming to attract people to the district. I expect that's going to be at least 15 to 20 minutes that she'll be talking. And certainly there'll be the opportunity for participants to ask questions at that point. The state of the town, the way we've done this in the past and would continue to do it, is that each member of the town management team would do a little brief on what their role is, who they are, for people who might not know, and then again talk about some of the things that are going on in town that would be of interest to the business owners. And that's an opportunity for question and answers.
Do we have an email list to contact all the businesses, and sort of what's the size of that? And then how many attendees do you think we'll get?
So in the past, we've attracted, I mean, if we get 20 business owners, that's a good turnout. And we've had upwards of 35 people attend these events, including some of the Economic Development Council members and town staff. And yes.
Do you know what the population is?
We have a distribution list of over 200 business owners.
Okay, that's a pretty good turnout. 10%. That's great. In terms of, because my mind is always thinking about like email series lead up to get people to show up, and then how do we collect feedback from them? I know sometimes though, when you ask a group of people what's wrong, what's right, then you'll just get a whole bunch of stuff. Do we is the purpose to kind of catalog that? Like, is there someone taking that feedback, or could we send out like some sort of survey, Google form survey to people that aren't there, if that's a key goal?
So certainly we could. In the past, we've had board members that help with that, which is great. I mean, if that's something you can help with, I don't have a lot of bandwidth in my staff. We do create the mailer, and we send it out. We do an email distribution. We post, there's an economic development Facebook page. We post it there. We post it on the town's Facebook page, also on the town's website.
Okay, well, I'm more than happy to help with anything of that nature.
That's great. That would be very appreciated.
Okay, I'll follow up with you after. But that's where I was hoping I could kind of come in and leverage my skill set, because that's what I know, but there's a lot that I'm learning, but I can help with any of those things. In terms of setting up the online marketing presence of it, capturing things, doing any type of email, newsletter generation, that's my background.
I knew there was a reason why the select board selected you for this committee. And that sounds very exciting, Julie, and we appreciate that.
So yeah, that would be, I'd be happy to get together. Maybe we can set up like a lunch date or a breakfast date.
Let's do it. Farmer's Daughter, my favorite place.
Well, I love the food there. It's not really a good place to talk. It's very, so.
Okay. You've probably been in Easton longer than me, so I'll definitely
yeah, no, I
go with what you think.
love the Farmer's Daughter, but it is, unless we sit outside, we could do an outside day. That would be, yeah, we could do that.
It's summer, it's nice.
Yep. All right, I'm just making a note.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you.
Stephanie, what might be helpful is if people introduce themselves to Julie and just tell a little bit about what they do, so that she has a handle on who are the members of this committee.
Excellent idea, Craig.
So
I think I've already done mine.
I'm vice chair of the select board, a retiree, actively involved in the Easton community, filling in. Dottie Fulgenetti, who's the chair of the select board, was originally on this committee, but her new job does not allow for her to participate. I was a member years ago, so I rejoined the committee.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Julie, I'm Dan Smith. One, it's great to meet you. Sorry for the soft hit kickoff to our meeting, but by no means didn't want to get you introduced to the team. Honestly, I thought we had met before, and it felt like you were already part of the team, which you absolutely are now. So, former select board member, former member of the planning board. I got re-engaged with the council about 2 years ago. I think at this point, maybe 3. And for professional, I work as a business development exec for a company called Amoresco in sustainability and energy efficiency, but really looking forward to get to know you. And I think Mr. Boyer.
Sounds good. I'm Bruce Boyer. I've been part of the council here for several years. And I'm just renewing my next 3-year stint here starting today. And I work at Stonehill College as Director of Facilities Management, and I've been here 15 years.
Thanks, Bruce. How about John Holbrook?
Sure, I'll jump in next. Nice to meet you, Julie. John Holbrook. I grew up in Easton. currently live in Bridgewater, but I own and run Northeastern Machine Company, a manufacturer here in Easton.
And Chris.
Sure. Good morning. First of all, I want to say thank you for reselecting me. I just started my second term today as well. I've been living in Easton for over 15 years now. I started my involvement with the Easton community as a coach, and my children now are in college and high school. So I chose to start getting more involved with the, different community committees. And so I joined the Economic Development Board. I'll turn on my camera so you can see me again. My machine keeps going in and out. But anyway, so I'm excited to meet you. I actually been working in financial services for about 30 years. I currently work for State Street Bank in Boston. So that's where my background is in. And I look forward to working with the board again and making some great improvements going forward. So truly welcome to the team.
Is that everybody? Well, it's nice to meet you all. I look forward to working with you. And I have 2 little kids in the town as well, 4 months old and 4 years old. So we kind of have our hands full with the kids, but it's a lot of fun and love Easton. My husband grew up in Ohio on 100 acres. So we were trying to find a place near Massachusetts, Boston, that had a lot of land. So that's why we picked Easton, and I grew up in Canton. So it was kind of perfect for us. We love it so far.
Nice, welcome.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Dan, because
Oh, go ahead, Stephanie.
No, I was just going to say, because you've indicated you're driving and don't have the agenda in front of you. The other item on the agenda was just recent business contacts and district updates. Do you want me to?
Yeah, if you could please.
Sure.
And I have a hard stop for myself, and apologies to all at 9:30. So
Yeah, I think we expected this would be a pretty quick meeting today. So just, I mentioned when Julie was asking about the goals that we've had a lot of response from developers in the Furnace Village district as a result of the zoning there. And the planning board approved last month a new multifamily development that will result in 26 units of rental housing at 25% affordable. We had an Aroma Joe's that was relocated in the old, I think it was the Easton Savings Bank kiosk branch down at the McGuire's Plaza. They have opened up and are operating, and I've talked with the business owners, and they're happy with the response that they're getting from the community. And we have interest in another property at 523 Boundary Street. We were looking at a mixed-use project that is being presented to the planning board. That's in addition to some of the other housing in the Furnace Village District residential area that has developed over the last year. We have the old Belcher house that was converted or is in the final phases of conversion to condominiums. So the top floor will be 1 unit, the bottom floor will be second. It's an old federal style house, completely preserved. And that lot was subdivided using the new zoning into 2 additional lots. And the 2 new houses have been constructed and have been sold, and people are living there. So we're really seeing a lot of interest in that district. Things are going pretty well there. 661 Washington Street had been previously approved for mixed-use development. We were all very excited and looking forward to seeing that. The developer that obtained that permit was having a difficult time getting financing, felt he needed more housing in the area. Eventually, he sold it. It has been sold to Adam Silverleaf, who is in the process of starting to break ground for a Volkswagen dealership there. So while it's not exactly what we had hoped for the district, it certainly will be a big improvement over that. I don't know, Julie, if you're familiar with it. Locally, people still refer to it as Korea's Plaza. It was an aged strip mall, you know, falling into a state of disrepair. The work for the mixed use development had begun. So it was really an eyesore because there was no work being done, of course, on the strip mall because it was going to be demolished, and it had been cleared of a lot of material, and it was just, so this is really a positive for the town, and it will be generating tax revenue. And
So Stephanie, is that the plaza down near 106?
no, this is the one at the intersection of Depot Street and Washington Street.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
It's where Scott's Liquor was, Chris,
Okay.
and the
Thank you.
Northeastern Savings Bank, which has been abandoned for years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to find my spots. So
Yeah.
through landmarks. Thank you for that.
We've also had interest in a property on Main Street that has long been vacant, and I think we're going to be getting a tenant in there, not a tenant, but a new buyer and a new business operating there. There's certainly been a lot of interest from the potential buyer, but I don't want to divulge too much at this point. And I just saw that Dan just had to sign off for his hard stop, so.
I think for Julie's benefit, what percentage of Easton is residential versus commercial at this point?
Okay, Dan, so here's Craig, this is a new statistic I'm going to have in my the back of my head. I don't know. Gosh, I'm going to say maybe 20% at most, but I'd have to look that up. I'd have to figure that out.
Okay.
How about conservation land? We know that.
I know that. The town has over 4,000 acres of conservation land, and I think it's 17%.
Yeah, on one hand, the conservation land draws people in because of you know, the ability to walk through the woods, et cetera, but it also limits the amount of developable land that we have, particularly for commercial. So that's one of the reasons we're excited about having the sewer districts, so that we can bring in targeted commercial development to the town, not impinging on the residential neighborhoods.
I see that the was it Sawmill Village is really starting to come along now.
Yes, yeah. Well, so two things. I didn't talk about Old Forge Commons, which is the property being developed at 20 South Street. That had a historic house on it that is being preserved, and it is being developed with 20 units of housing under our flexible development. So that allows you to build on smaller lots, a little more dense. These are high-end homes. They're not, you know, moderately priced, but in return for that density, the town gets a minimum of 10% open space. And this developer has preserved, I think it's 40 to 50% of the parcel is being preserved as open space. And there will be 2 affordable units there. So that development is well underway. He's building houses. And then, as Bruce pointed out, if you go to the intersection of Pequannock Avenue and Foundry Street, Julie, I don't know if you travel through that part of town, but right across from that intersection, you will see that there was a big mound of dirt and structural sand that is now being knocked down. Pretty much they've started the roadway in there, and we expect foundations permits to start being pulled very shortly. I expected them prior to this. However, the developer was looking at and is changed from electric heat to geothermal. So he had to go back to conservation because that would require a little more disturbance. It required a little bit more permitting, but I think that's completed at this point. And I think that's that's worth a little bit of delay there to have that geothermal opportunity for heating and cooling.
And Stephanie, with all this economic development going on, are they instituting sidewalks so people can walk around and get around the community?
So thank you for asking that question, Chris. So the long-term plan, so a couple of things. One of the projects that I'm working on with a group called the Swifts Park Review Committee. So again, if you're familiar with that intersection at Pequannock Avenue, you'll know that there's kind of this triangular shaped parcel of land that is grassed with some trees growing, nothing very outstanding about it. And there's a kind of a cut through that has since been blocked off from Pequannock Avenue to Foundry Street, that it runs along one of the angles of that triangle. The town owns that land, and the Swifts Park Committee is working on getting a design to convert that and redevelop it into a park that will be dedicated as a memorial to the first responders and victims of the 1918 flu pandemic and the 2020 COVID pandemic. How does that fit into the bigger picture? Again, all these things that are being done by the town to either beautify, provide infrastructure, to create that a more walkable experience for people, a more neighborhood-like experience. And part of that process includes a 10-year project for roadway improvements along Foundry Street between Depot and Eastman Street that will include adding sidewalks, bicycle lanes, and traffic management along that stretch of Foundry Street.
Thank you.
Suffice to say, Stephanie, that there's some very exciting things going on in Easton at this point. And it's kind of neat for folks like Julie who just moved into town to see all the changes that are going to be happening and all the development that's going on in a very positive way, Julie. It's not going to look like the section of Stoughton that is all, 138 in Stoughton. So it's done with a lot of thought and with the help of the planning and zoning board and Stephanie, that's how things are done in town. So it's exciting to me as a long-term resident of the town of Easton. Not as long as I think as John's been here, but I've been here a long time. So
and I think the support of the executive level with the select board and the town administrator, there's really a recognition of what the town needs to both retain its character into the future and be able to thrive.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, it seems like I might be the de facto vice chair for the day, so I will call for a motion to adjourn.
So, Barger.
All in favor, Danielson, aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Bye.
All right, motion passes. Thank you so much, and we'll get another meeting scheduled that's something less than 6 months from the last.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care,
And I'll
everyone.
be in
Thank
touch
you.
with you, Julie.
That sounds great. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.